via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Greetings. I'm your host, Kemetu Bay. This is Millennium News 24, Interfaith talk show, and I have a guest that was here before, and she's back again to talk about more traditional roots and herbs that's going to heal the body, because, you know, this is the season, which is a lot of flus and viruses. I mean, the bird flu, you know, the chickens is dying and the eggs is contaminated and prices is going up. And so what do we do when we get hit so hard with these different viruses that's going on in the air, you know? And so I think it's very important that, you know, we know about certain roots and herbs that actually would detox the body and also nourish the body and strengthen the body, because it's rough when you're not feeling well and you know you got to get up and go to work, or you got some children to take care of, you know, and you're feeling miserable and the weather is back and forth. You know, one moment is springish, next moment is freezing, and so your body can never get, you know, adjusted to the temperature of the weather outside. All right, so here we have our guest back. Kamintu is her name. Pardon me for not pronouncing it properly. And she's going to be back to elaborate on the things you can do to be able to cleanse, nourish, and give that body the energy that it needs during this winter month.
Greetings to you, everyone. Again, Happy Kamintu is my name. And as the brother was saying, we are dealing with a lot. In this particular season here on the West Coast, the East Coast, is very cold. It's considered winter here. And I wanted to just share something so you can get an understanding why our bodies go through what we do, especially in the winter more harshly than in the other seasons. You know, there's this thing of balance that we talked about last time before a little bit. And the thing is, you got to remember there's two forces always in existence, which is construction and destruction. And when it comes to the health is that way as well. If you have one side too much construction or not, the other side is destruction, or the other side is construction, overly constructive, that is what causes an imbalance. In order for us to exist in the existence, there has to be that consistent balance in order for life to continue and to flow. And I'm bringing this up because healing is a technical thing. A lot of people will say it's spiritual, but it's a healing thing, and it's a technical thing. And spirituality is also a technical thing, meaning these things, spirituality, healing, and everything in life, you need an educator. You need someone to teach you. We've gotten away from the way of our ancestors of how they taught us how to survive in existence, because we no longer really live within nature, even though we are a part of nature and we are nature. But we got away from that. And so this is also part of our destruction, because we are supposed to be living in harmony with nature and trying to fit ourselves into nature.
True.
Whereas we are technically now trying to make nature bend to us. And so a lot of these things is what's causing a lot of health issues as well. As we stated before, mentally, physically, and emotionally, spiritually as well. So I bring up this so that people can realize that they do need to get control over their lives, a little bit more control over their lives, and less on the destructive side, but more on the constructive side, because society is more on the destructive side.
True.
So I bring that in so you can understand the importance of balance. That balance is what's going to keep life going. So even in that health aspect, you want to talk about health. So we know naturally human beings are warm-blooded. We're warm-blooded. So you want to keep that in mind, that you don't want to cold internally and you don't really want cold externally. And what happens is that when cold is around for a human being, the blood goes to the core of the body to keep the body functioning, and it moves away from the areas that's less needed to have the blood in order for you to survive. Example, if you're outside and you don't have clothes on, the first things to go and get cold are your extremities. Not that you don't need your extremities, but if you want to survive, you're going to let the thing that you need least to go first. So that's how the body is functioning. And people need to understand, when you're cold, we put we put on clothes because we're trying to keep warm. And it's important that human beings have warmth, because warmth, you see healing, you see things grow, you see things flourish. Prime example, when we have the 4 seasons, spring comes in, it starts getting warm. You see the buds on the trees coming out, and then then you'll see the flowers coming along with the nourishment of the rain and the sun. But the temperature plays a core part of why you see things grow, you see things flourish. You even see the behavior of people more lively, more energetic. They feel less tired, less lethargic, because now the warmth is coming and is giving life to everything around it. True. And so that is exactly what happens with the body as well. The body's blood will flow a lot better, a lot easier. It takes less time for the cold air that goes through your nose and into your body. It takes less time to warm up because it's already warm as you're inhaling it. So your body's not working as hard to try to warm up the air that you're getting in your body, and then trying to get to your lungs and your blood and all the other parts of your body in order for you to breathe more easily. And that's why you're more tired and lethargic in the winter too, because of the cold air. And we may have heaters and things like that, but that's artificial heat. So it doesn't really work as well as if it was natural heat. So I bring that to your attention to understand a little bit more about the healing of your body, and why when it gets cold, your body automatically becomes tired, lethargic, and more prone to get different sicknesses and ailments and things like that. And sluggish.
Yes.
You got your sinus cavity. The first place it hits, that cold air is here. And your brain only takes a certain temperature of air. So if it's too cold or too hot to a level, it's going to bring the mucous membranes to start coming, and to protect the brain and the cold from getting mucus is starting to come. So the first thing you're going to have is a runny nose starting to come, because your sinus is trying to protect the cold air from getting to your brain.
True.
So people's like, oh, so the first thing they'll start sneezing or all of that, and your nose is running. People's like, oh, you're sick. No, You're not sick. It's your body trying to adjust to the temperature. And then when you get somewhere warmer, if it's a little too hot too fast, your nose will run as well, because it's too hot too fast. So it's hard for your brain to adjust. So to protect the brain, the mucus comes to inflate to protect the brain from the cold air, the extreme in temperatures. So our body being warm, I bring that because also you want to drink more warm things, eat more hot foods, spicy foods with a lot more seasonings in it.
Yes. Like
cayenne peppers, gingers,
yes,
cloves, onions, pepper, garlic. In this season, if you put it in your food, if you can do it as a tea, turmeric, curry,
or even a soup.
Yes. Even, thank you. Even a soup, have a lot more of those types of foods with actual warm temperature foods will help with building your immune system to protect it. Also, an experiment I did some years ago, I wasn't feeling good. And I said, let me take all these seasonings that I had in my cabinet, because I noticed that when I'm cooking, sometimes my body will start purging while I'm cooking with these different seasonings. So I said one day, let me see what happens. So I wasn't feeling too good. I was feeling lethargic, tired, fatigued, felt like I was coming down with a cold, and my body was weak. I said, let me just throw all these herbs together and just drink it. And that's what I did. And in 2 hours, I just started purging everything out. All the mucus, all the phlegm that I had was coming even out of my lungs and out of my digestive area. So I say that to say you can really use any natural ground food, seasoning, or herbs to help deal with seasonal ailments.
True.
You can do that. Most of them are anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antifungal, let alone painkillers, and things like that. So just keep that in mind. You can do your own research or go to health food stores or go to traditional healers. And you can also just check with yourself. Some things we might know, we'll say, like I told you, spirituality and healing is natural, but some things we know intuitively because we have our ancestors' DNA, meaning our ancestors' blood is in us. True. And things that they have done and ways of being that they have, they are within each and every one of us. And with that being said, some things people are like, oh, the spirit said this, the spirit said that. Spirit's not wrong.
True.
It's not wrong.
That's true.
It's a memory coming back to you through your ancestral lineage or your other lifetimes you experienced before. So know that, don't get it confused that I'm trying to tell you it's totally one way altogether. It's a combination of your spirit being led as well, but it's something that's already been practiced. It's something that is a technical skill or knowledge that's trying to come back and remind you of who you are and what you have done, what your ancestors have done, what you have done in other times when you've been here, when it deals with health and ailments. So I bring that just so that people can understand it a little bit better, because everything is inclusive. You know, you just have to look at nature, and nature is your teacher to show you how you are supposed to be. And I know it's hard because we're very modernized with all our technologies and all the advancements we proclaim to have. And it take us so far away from the realities of how we're supposed to be living. And it leaves us sometimes our thought pattern, not remembering, oh, there's ways to deal with these sicknesses. There's ways to deal with these ailments.
True.
Talk to your elders. Ask them, what did they do? I even had a coworker tell me one time her grandmother, one of my children's teachers I spoke to recently. And she was like, yeah, I'm from Puerto Rico. And I remember we used to get a little cold. And my grandmother, she used to take the egg yolk and some other herb. She said she put it in there. And they would have her wipe down with the egg yolk around the chest and plaster it. Oh, with the clay. Take the red clay that they had and from the ground, and they mix it with the egg yolk, and they will put it around when you had fevers around your neck and your chest area, and it would draw out the cold and flu or whatever you had in your body.
True.
So simple little things. Like I said, nature's your teacher, will be able to help you with your health ailments and health issues. You know, you go to the supermarket, you see all these different herbs that your seasonings you use. It's not just for flavor. It's for survival. There are things in it that are healing to help you to survive, to heal your body, to deal with different ailments. There are different little remedies that I learned from different communities that I learned to just even keep the immune system going and to keep minor issues from ailments of, diabetes down to a minimum, high blood pressure down to a minimum, high cholesterol to a minimum, arthritis to a minimum, meaning you'll still have those diseases per se, but it will not allow the effects of it to keep you from being able to function and maintain yourself until you can get to another level of healing for yourself. So you won't walk around like in pain because of the ailments or have a crazy imbalance because of the imbalance with your body. So I want to get back to the aspect of the temperature to remind people to get as much warmth in your body and hearty foods as possible. Stay away from the processed foods. If you have to eat out, eat nourishing food, Spanish types of food if you're Hispanic, West Indian type of food if you're West Indian. The home cooked food that you will cook at your home, in your home, that your grandparents, great-grandparents cook. Those should be your staples every day, not the fast foods. Because the fast foods, they put all these chemicals in it.
That's true. But we're going to take a break for our viewers, and we'll be right back with more information. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Yes, we're back with Sister Happy, who's giving a lot of excellent information concerning what we can do. And these remedies that we have is right in our kitchen cabinet or in our food cubby, all right, or even in our refrigerator, all right. I also want to be able to share some knowledge when we get back to her concerning certain fruits, all right. A papaya. Most of the people today who buy a papaya, and basically from the Caribbean or from Africa or from South America, or even in Asia, Southeast Asia, they cut the papaya open, and what do? They discard the seed. Did you know that the seed of that papaya is one of the most potent food that you can consume, that you can take a spoonful of the papaya seed, chew it up very thoroughly, and drink a bottle of water behind it? Did you know that the papaya seed would actually kill the cancerous cells? It would actually break down fevers, colds, and flus. The papaya seed. And it also will make you defecate and clean you out. The papaya seeds are more potent than the fruit itself. So just something simple as the papaya seeds. All right. So they are very veritable remedies out there in fruits, in certain vegetables, all right, that would actually help cleanse and nourish and give the body strength. But we're going to get back to our guest. She's going to continue to dialogue on some other remedies that you need to hear this today. Yes, as you were.
So what I wanted to bring up is there's a remedy for people who have coughs, whether it's from cold, flu, or whatever the reason is. It won't necessarily cure the reason why you're having a cough, but it will soothe your throat and will stop the cough immediately. And that's honey. If you could get pure honey, we got a lot of processed honey out here with sugar in it, which is really not good. But if you could get a teaspoon of pure honey to the best of your ability, even the one that's processed, it will help assist with the coughing that you have in your throat and also help ease the irritation in your throat.
What is the type of honeys that people should look for? Like, I know that one of them is Manuka honey. Do you have any other suggestions?
Well, Manuka honey is a good honey because it helps also with people who have arthritic issues. People who have diabetes is very good for those people because even with people with diabetes, they can't use they really shouldn't use the natural honey neither. But of course, like I said, it's because a lot of them are now even so-called raw and natural. They're adding sugar to it, and it really shouldn't be happening.
True.
So that is why the Manuka honey, you don't have to worry about that. If you could get honeys from indigenous places, meaning from other countries, people in your community that are from different parts of the world, you can ask them about the honey from their countries if they have any of that. Works very well. I always, when I travel, I go and I come back with like a gallon of honey that I keep I try to keep enough for the year, but I bring back a gallon of honey. People say, why are you traveling? I said, because the honey in its natural form, when it's not processed and people don't put stuff in it, it's very healing. It's antibacterial, it's antifungal, and it helps with a lot of ailments. And even when I have children, so it's good when I have, and those honeys, not to be funny, are bitter, but it's sweet. But when I mix it with the herbal remedies that I have for my children, it works even better because the honey is more pleasurable to the palate for children. So it'll be easier for them. Yeah, as a natural course,
yes.
And them getting used to that type of honey versus the one that's here, their mouth is more prone to take bitter things as well, because it's not like sugary sweet, but it's sweet enough, but it got a little bitterness to it. So that's why I get the honey and I bring it back, because it's very hard to find here. And even though you have some markets traditional African markets, West Indian markets, East Indian markets, Asian markets. They have their honeys, but even sometimes with them bringing it over, because it's part of the mass production of bringing stuff over, they'll be processed to some extent as well. Even some things like shea butter. I found out I had an opportunity with one of my sisters. She produces body products for people to, to use on their body. And she uses shea butter as one of the main ingredients in the majority of her products. And she was buying shea butter here from whole marketplaces here. And come to find out, when she actually traveled to Ghana and went into the area of the village where they were actually making the shea butter, she saw how different the quality of the shea butter was. And she said, wow. She said, you know what? To make sure my products is really well, she making it her business to travel back more often and bring back the shea butter in bulk for her products, because it made a difference in the type of products she's making here for people. She's trying to get things to people more natural. And even the things she's trying to ship, when they put it in the process of shipping back in mass production, they treat it any kind of way. And a lot of things get inside the products when it's supposed to be clean and pure, and it messes up the quality of what you're getting that's supposed to be natural.
True.
So I would advise to support as much as possible local mom and pop shops, because you'll get better quality things as much as possible.
True.
When it comes to the things you need to put in your body, and people that travels back and forth to different places, or even here, go to the farmer's market and find those real natural environments to get even your fruits and vegetables. If you can drive somewhere and go to a farmer's market and get it versus the supermarket.
True. Because
there's a lot of stuff that they do to people's food. If you can find you a natural butcher, a halal spot, even, you try, because that is, and I'm not saying they totally 100%, but it gets you closer to more natural things that your body is really craving for. And we don't really realize it, but we're overly sanitized.
True.
And malnutrition. And that's another reason why people are having sickness. There's a such thing as over sanitizing.
Yeah, you're compromising your immune system.
Right. I mean, even a plain example of one extreme issue and another health extreme issue. You have lupus, where your immune system is overworking because of the over sanitization. Your body is overly building the immune system. It makes your body, so then it's not really doing the job that it needs to do to keep the balance for your health to be well. AIDS, the lack of your white blood cells, right? That'll cause your immune system not to work at all. It can't fight and fight the diseases and viruses that come into your body and the bacteria that comes into your body. So those are two diseases in health that we are very well aware of in our society, where that imbalance. One is construction, which is the lupus, but an overproduction of your your immune system can destroy you.
True.
And a destruction where your immune system is not strong enough, and that can also destroy you.
One factor too that I want to be able to bring in and I'm sure you're going to definitely enlighten the people, because your blood type is very important in this factor, because you're talking about those who may have antigens and one who have antibodies. And there's a difference between the two. And depending on your diet is a big factor concerning when you're having foreign agents coming into your system, like the flus and all that. So you have to really know what your blood type is. Is it an antigen or is it an antibody? Because that is a big factor.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you can elaborate on that concerning those two blood types that people need to be aware of, especially when it's coming to healing your body or keeping your immune system strong,
Well, I don't know the details of the blood types, maybe as well as you do, but what I have been taught is that that balance of construction and destructions. So for everybody, how like the modern system would be like, oh, you got a cold or you got a flu, right? So this is what pills we're going to give you for that. And this is what you're going to use for that. Whereas in traditional way, we're checking the actual person's body to see what level, because everybody's level of construction and destruction is on a different level as well.
That's true.
Because of blood type, because of environment, because of types of food you eat.
That's true.
Depending on the stress factors in your surroundings of your like I said, your environment,
very true.
Your mental state, all of those things. And that's why it's more important to have a person who is checking on you on a personal level versus on a mass level, because one box don't fit everybody.
Oh, that's right.
It doesn't fit for everybody.
That's
and when it comes to healing, it's that way as well.
That's true. That's true. There's not one size fit all.
No.
So it's based upon your digestive system, your how your body process it, so that way it can give you the optimum health that you need. So that is so true. Mm-hmm.
But so with that, this is like in every aspect, even also like you want to clean out, build up your immune system. You want to clean out your blood. You want to clean out every organ of the body needs to be cleaned as well.
Yes.
Every system in your body needs to be cleaned as well.
True.
And there are different foods for that as well, but
True.
You have to be consistent with it. When you're not consistent with it, then that's when you definitely have to turn to herbal remedies or supplements to try to, and because the foods don't have the nutrients like it's supposed to neither,
True.
You have to turn to these other alternative things as well.
True.
One of the things I've seen very quite often when traveling around to different cultures, the mothers and the elders always had a little stash of something they had to help with healing people and helping people to make sure that when they cook their food, the people would get the nourishment that they need for their body. And the elders was watching, see how the people are doing in the community, see what type of sickness is going on. And
True.
You don't realize that they have, when they're cooking, they're like, oh, so-and-so got this, so-and-so got that. Oh, it's a bug going around, or this is going around. Okay, so when they go to cooking now, they're like, okay, I'm going to throw this in here now because this is going to get rid of whatever I see coming.
True.
With people. And people don't even know themselves that these ailments is coming on them or they're
True.
about to have these ailments. But the elders already putting herbs in the food that's going to help with expelling those issues or even bringing those issues out, because people have also a tendency, they take the herbs or whatever and they're like, oh, I feel like I'm getting worse. No, the herbs is expelling out what's there and things that you did not see that was there before. Mm-hmm. That needs to come out of your body. So an example, I learned, because here they always like, oh, if they starve, don't give them no food if you're sick. Don't eat any food if you're sick. That's what they say. Because it's going to make them vomit. You want the person to vomit.
Exactly.
Because it's going to bring out whatever the issues are in your digestive system or inside the body. So yes, you're sick. Eat. If you vomit, it's good because it's going to allow whatever's in there that's not supposed to be in there to help it come out.
True.
Versus if you don't eat and you don't vomit, then that sickness sits in there and it festers more because your temperature is going to go up.
True.
And what does heat do? Give life.
That's right.
It gives life. So that sickness is going to ramp up.
That's
so
right.
What you want to do is you want to eat. And what you also want to do, the heat is good, but maybe give the heat that's hotter than the regular body temperature.
True.
Like soups.
That's true.
Teas and other herbs as well that will attack those health issues. So that is another aspect and concept that, people need to think about when they're feeling something coming on in their body. You can attack it before it comes and take over your life that you can't function or do anything.
That's true. Very true.
There are a lot of different maintenance you can do, even with the food and diet. Just take it seasonally, periodically, seasonally for 1 week. The season's about to change. Get some lemon, ginger, garlic, clove. Make teas with that. Put it in your soups. Just put it, and every meal that you put it in there. And if you're really on the run, like you don't really have time to cook, throw it in that processed food.
Yeah.
Throw it in the processed food. I mean, we really don't want to do that. We want to eat home cooked food. But if you really have to be on the run like that, I say that because I was an EMT. And there were times that I had to eat those things, even though I didn't really eat those things, because people were like, oh, you eat like a bird, like, you know, because I was very mindful of what I ate. I always bought food, but there were times that I had to eat those foods. So what I would do, I always had some stash bag somewhere of herbs and medicines. People's like, what you got in your stash? And I just throw it in there, in that burger, in that fries, or even the salad. Yeah. I'll get that salad from off the street and I'll throw a bunch of herbs in, and they're looking like, what?
Yeah, because you're creating balance. You're creating balance.
Yes.
Because you're having acidic and alkaline. So you want to be able to do those things. And it's so good that you can make people aware of it. Another thing, too, that people can do is get on a liquiditarian fast. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You can make soups, all right, for 30 days. Smoothies like sea moss, you know, there's all types of green juice. Yes, that you can clean all the because you know the colon is a big factor too in cleaning out as far as you building up your energy, and also you can speed up your optimum health as also a factor. So it's very important to be aware of that. We'll be right back. For those viewers who are listening, and we just thank you for being on with us. So we'll be right back. We're taking a commercial break. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Yes, we are back with Sister Happy, and what she's going to do, she's going to give a list of herbs that will help give you optimum health and to be able to maintain so your body won't be compromised, because being in this environment that's highly toxic, you know, the water, the air, the food, the deodorant, the toothpaste, you know, the lotions that you put on your body. So myself personally, I put on natural things so that I maintain, like I would put maybe olive oil on my skin, or I may use other oils, natural oils, as opposed to putting on synthetic perfume types of things. It smells sweet, you know, but then it's going to absorb because your skin is the largest organ on your body, and you don't want to absorb things into your body that's going to cause you to compromise your immune system. So Happy is going to go through some herbs and give you the breakdown of each one of them as you work, beloved.
Okay. So I have some herbs. Like I told you, I work with some healers and priests and priestesses that are out of West Africa, different countries. And there's a community of them who have herbs that they have been using in their communities for thousands of years, actually, and been taught this from childhood. And this is like second nature to them. So I have a herb called Ninica, and that herb is called man's best friend. And it's a combination of about 20 different herbs that is used to help clean the blood, but it also nourishes the blood as well. It nourishes the blood and it cleans the blood out. And it's important to clean your blood out because a lot of times people don't even know they're lethargic because of all the toxins in your food.
True. And
your liver does not going to get everything if you don't clean the liver out. Your kidney is not going to get everything if you don't clean it out. So if you don't do these periodic cleansing, then the body will develop what you call these diseases because there is no basic maintenance of cleaning out the different organs in the body. There's also another herb that I have called Sule, and it cleans out specifically the liver and the kidney, and it also nourishes the kidney and the liver. And of course, you want to clean out the kidney because it cleans out all the blood as it goes through the body before it gets to the other organs, and you want to clean out the kidney because with those three in particular, like when those three things go down, it's like you're basically finished. That's why a lot of people with high blood pressure and diabetes,
true,
they die, usually die, very quick in life. Like they'll go down in life much faster because of that sickness. And it makes it very difficult to live and enjoy your life the way that you really could because of these health issues. So, some people's like, well, I'm going to die from sickness anyway. No, you don't have to die from sickness.
True.
You don't have to die of ailment. I've traveled to places where I've met people who are 130 years old, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking they're 70, maybe 90. And then they get up and they start dancing, and like I'm looking like they dance better than the 20 and 30-year-olds. And you're looking like, wow. And they'll start crying and laughing because they see the community and they're enjoying life, and they see people coming together and they're celebrating. And it's a joy to see people with that old, because of the knowledge that they have and the wisdom that they have to teach you. We really need to cherish that. And that's the one thing, you know, we've lost in our cultures, is the cherishment of our ancestors and our elders, because the wisdom that they can help impart in our life. You may not necessarily agree with everything, but what they're giving you is valuable, and you can use it in a way that it will help your life. So we need to cherish our elders. Also, another herb that I have, it's called anu, and this herb, it deals with a whole bunch of different health issues and ailments. It can even cure low level, like first stage and second stage cancers. You know, it deals with arthritis, vein issues. It removes fat from around the heart. It deals with general pain and fatigue and things like that. And if you have any other health issues that are not extreme, it will help alleviate that. There are a lot of different places I've went to that they've given herbs, and then some of them didn't necessarily, if you had a like disease, cure it, but it took a lot of the edge off of the impact of the disease on the body. And then they will come and bring you other things that will focus specifically on the disease itself. We're dealing with some of the healers. I also have a stomach cleanse that cleans out parasites, that cleans out worms. And I have different forms of that medicine alone, but I have one basic simple ones. Like I said before, I have things from $10 on up. So depending on the severity of what you're dealing with, you know, you can start with the most simplest thing. And then if that works, but not enough, you still see that you need something more, or we see that you need something more, then we move to the next level. So it's the same thing with the different blood cleansers as well. I have different types of blood cleansers that are more potent. If I have herbs that deals with people that have anemia. I have things for women who have womb issues, things like fibroids. I have herbs for that. I have things also for prostates as well for men. For women who are wanting to have children, I have a network of healers that have herbs for that as well. You having issues with your cycle, I have herbs for that too. And just something that people don't know, here in modern society, people think it's normal to have menstrual cramps. It's not. It's a sickness.
True.
Menstrual cramps is a sickness.
True.
And it's a lot diet, environment, stress, different types of stresses. But diet is one of the main things people don't realize is a big factor into that. And a lot of traumas, rapes, abuses, even some things coming out of the womb affect the woman and their womb when they're coming out of their mother's womb. So those traumas the mothers went through will affect the child. And sometimes it'll affect the daughter child and her wound as well.
True.
It'll affect the male, but surprisingly enough, it'll affect the woman child and the woman's child's womb. Meaning while they're in the womb of their mother, their womb is being affected equally.
True.
You understand? So those issues can transfer over to the children as well.
True.
So there are herbs for that. And of course, spiritual works for that as well. Or, you know, traditional remedies, I should say, that deals with that as well. But those things people are thinking is normal is really not normal.
True.
Just like I said before, you don't have to die from sickness and disease. And a lot of people think, oh, they die because of the sickness. No, you don't have to die from that. That is something that is put out there to just make people accept the fact that they didn't get the help that they needed, when there is a solution for every situation and circumstances, every problem and challenge we have, there's solutions. We just have to tap into our energies, tap into our ancestral ways, listen to your intuition, you know, get your intuition working again. A lot of us have shut down and dumbed down our intuition because people's like, oh, that's wrong and that's crazy and that's this. It may not be what it is for everybody. It's just true for you. You know, so just keep that in mind when it comes to even your health. Listen to your gut. Listen to your intuition. It's speaking to your ancestors are speaking to you. They're speaking through you. And they will lead you if you ask them where you should go to get the answers and the results you need for your life.
You know, you kind of remind me of Dick Gregory. I was listening to him so many years ago, and he had a daughter that he was raising to be vegan. And when she left to go to college, she started eating foods because of the peer pressure of her friends. And at the age of 19, she had never menstruated until that age. And when she started to menstruate and started having pain, as you stated, she started freaking out, and she called her father, telling her that, you know, she don't know what's going on with her body and what can she do, you know, to stop it. And then he told her, listen, I raised you a certain way. Go back to how I raised you. And that's what she did, and it stopped. But you brought a very good point, because what's for you is for you and not for everybody. So by her eating the foods that her friends was eating, changed her whole constitution of her inside and caused her to have a reaction that she was not used to. You know, so she had to go right back to the original way she was brought up by her dad, and then everything went back to normal. So it is very important that, you know, we hear this and bring these things out, you know. Wow. So what's your next herb?
Say that again.
What is your next herb?
Oh, the other herbs. I'm sorry. I also have another herb. It's quite often found here, but I can also get it for you people as well. And I would say mine is definitely much more potent because it didn't go through the shipment process of the mass shipment that a lot of people do get. It's called Bagara balls, and these balls are good for if even your children, if they have hemorrhoids or digestive issues, they have constipation.
Right.
They're small enough that you can push it up. As little tiny balls, is small enough. It's kind of big, but it's small. Yes. Yeah, you might have to put some shea butter on it. It's a size, but it'll go up there, and it will tighten up and squeeze everything out. If your anus area is inflamed, it will tighten it up so that the inflammation can come out. It will burn a little bit. It is a little bit of discomfort, but you can feel it go all the way to your up your colon and into your stomach area.
Serious.
Yeah, you can feel the medicine working, and it will bring everything.
Wow. What about the vaginal area? That would be safe?
Okay, it would be good after a woman gives birth.
Yes.
She wants to tighten up that area after she gives birth. It will bring any inflammation, any sickness, even other types of STDs.
Yes.
It will bring all of that's in there, and it will suck it out and bring it come, and the discharge, beautiful. You'll see the discharge come out of you. That's powerful. And there are different ways to use it to make it do what it do.
Wow.
You can also use it in your mouth if you have wounds in your mouth, ulcers in your mouth, and you take a bit of it, you chew it, the first layer off, and then you take another one, the first layer off, and of course, which each of these different ways of using it, you use it for a certain amount of days for each thing differently, and there are other herbs that you'll put with it or other things you'll put with it to make it work the way that it needs to work. But when I give those remedies, I give it for those specific things for that specific issue, and I'll let you know what it is that you need to put with it.
It's interesting that you're bringing this up because people need to be also aware that the Most High have deliberately created these things on earth, all right? Because the Most High knows best concerning the condition that we're going to be living in, all right? So when you're living in a certain environment that is so toxic to your constitution of your body, it's good to know what herbs you need to use. Matter of fact, if you pay attention to some animals like a dog, canine, he would eat something that he would not know that would make him sick. But one thing that about the dog that I've noticed some years ago, that when he did get sick and vomit whatever he consumed, he would eat grass right after that to clean his stomach out. At least the dog has enough sense to use grass.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We get sick and we can still continue to eat the same thing.
Right.
To
That's
keep us
sick. Yes.
So it's very important to be aware that, our grass would be the greens, the dandelion greens, mustard greens, turnip greens, arugula, eating a lot of greens or even juicing them.
Yes.
So that way you can clean out the gut, whatever's infectious inside the body that's causing you to be very sick. But as you were, beloved.
Yes. I also have some herbs for cleaning out the stomach itself. And it usually, from what I've witnessed, you lose 5 to 15 pounds. It cleans the colon out and the stomach out and the whole digestive system out, along with the colon as well. I have also sugar cleanse. It's not for your sugar in your blood, but the sugar in your system, meaning because we consume so much sugar and we don't realize sugar is a drug.
True.
It's one of the worst drugs.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a break for our viewers. I know they're very attentive on what we're dropping today to help heal the body, but we're going to go to a commercial break and come right back. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Yes, we are back, and we will continue to our last segment of this show, so that way we will continue to give the information to people, so that way they can use these remedies to be able to cure themselves. Because not all of us can get to the doctor, the healthcare. Insurance is so expensive. You know, there's someone that I know, they went to get something concerning the ear, but to get the hearing aid, they want $5,000 and up. You know, so people need to be aware of what we can do for the eyes, for the ears. You know what I'm saying? So, because the healthcare is just outrageous, and so it's good that we have natural things that can bring the body back to its optimal health. So, as you could continue.
Okay, and I also have herbs, like I was saying before, to clean the sugar out of your system, your whole body system, and that is one of the worst drugs we don't know. And what makes it really bad now is because we have these synthetic sugars, meaning these processed sugars, and that's really what's tearing the body down, because even natural sugar has nutrients in it. But because we process it so much, it's over processed and then synthesized, that's what's being the destructive part of it.
True.
Our body takes everything and make it sugar anyway. And then you add this added sugar on top of sugar. Like, I give you a prime example. So I thought it was funny when I finally sat down and realized, like, things like donuts. People love donuts, And I was looking at them. I was like, wow, the EMTs, we eat a lot of donuts. Police and EMTs in New York, we go to Dunkin' Donuts, get them donuts and coffee and stuff.
Quick snack.
So you get your coffee with the sugar in it, right? On your cream, on your sugar. Which sugar and dairy are the root causes, and meat are the root causes of sickness and diseases.
True.
Okay. So we got that. And then you get your donuts. Now, anything starch
turns to sugar. True.
Then in your donut, you got your filler. Then you got, like, in the donut itself, it got 4 sugars in the dough by itself, along with the dough. The dough is sugar, and then it got 4 different types of other sugar that they put in the dough. That don't include your jelly if you get your jelly filling. And that don't include your cream if it's a cream filling. And it don't include your frosting. And it don't include the sprinkles. Now, if you think about how much different sugars you put in there and different types of sugar, it's no wonder we're having the issues that we have. Then for lunch, we have burgers or fries. Burgers and fries. Then you got your ketchup. Your ketchup got sugar in it. All the condiments got sugar in it now. There were condiments before, like mustard. They didn't have sugar in it when I was little, but they got sugar in it now.
True.
I've even seen people, look this. I'm Geechee Gullah. My family's Geechee Gullah. I don't remember putting sugar in and seeing my ancestors put sugar in collard greens. But one day I went to a restaurant, soul food restaurant here in New York. I said, this greens is too good. What is in here? So I went back and I asked the guy, I said, what y'all putting in there? He said, I put turkey neck bones, beef neck bones. And then he said he put sugar in it. I said, you put what? Sugar. And some people's like, well, it takes out the acidity. I got you. But there are plenty of other things that take the acidity down in food that's not sugar. So we need to try to use the alternative things.
Yeah, like cilantro.
Yes.
Basil.
There you go.
So you're definitely right about that.
And there's a lot of ways, so people need to look into those other ways of doing it if they're going to do it. So even when you buy your food outside from places that you go to quite often, trying to eat the right type of thing, ask the questions. And sometimes you have to sacrifice. Sometimes you're going to be like, listen, I'm not eating that because all of this is no good. And just wait till you get home. It's a sacrifice, but your body will understand that discipline. And even also what happens is your hunger, your appetite, your hunger goes down. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. When I leave the States, and that's what I love traveling. I leave the States and I go other places, or I go to more rural areas and I'm eating more natural foods. Because even you can go upstate New York and go to the farms, and even the cabins up there, the food is totally different if you're eating from nature. The food is definitely different.
True.
I'm not, after 2 weeks, I'm not hungry for 3-4 meals a day.
That's true.
And the food has so much nutrients. I'm not hungry all the time. Whereas you hear, you're hungry right after you finish eating, right? For the most part.
Yeah, because what's in the food is causing that hunger pains.
Yes.
You kind of remind me back in the 70s. We used to go to Pennsylvania Dutch, and I remember going there many years ago, and when we ate the food was so fresh and so rich that, first of all, you went to the bathroom right away, and you didn't feel hungry. Like the Chinese food that most people eat. Yeah. All of a sudden you eat it, an hour later you're hungry again. You know, so you're definitely right about that. But as you were.
Some other herbs I have also, there are herbs that deals with seizures, brain fogs, toxins, radiation, memory loss. And that's one specific herb called cassia that I have as well access to. And other herbs that deal with anxiety, depression, just more any emotional imbalance. We have herbs for that as well.
You know what's interesting about what you're saying? Because you being in that industry, EMT, I used to work in a hospital for, several years, many years ago. And interesting that you're bringing this up, because the very herbs that you're talking about, they got pharmaceutical drugs for these same issues. But the only thing is that these drugs got so much side effects to these things that people don't want to take it. But then because of the condition, it's almost like they have to take it to stay in control. But then they got some other issues. And then when they go back to the doctor to talk about those issues, he gives you another drug for that issue. And it doesn't stop. So I thought it was very interesting that you are naming the different symptoms that people have as herbs that you can use for that same symptom without going to be heavily medicated.
Without any side effects to them. And I also have herbs for just any stomach issues, hemorrhoids specifically, and things like that. And then there's certain even foods, like you were saying. I have access to called baba. And it's one of the strongest, powerful trees that I've seen in West Africa. And it's humongous. It grows humongous. And it grows these giant seeds on it. But when you open it up, it's like this peach colored fiber inside. And when you eat it, it's like a sweet, bitter. It's not sugary, but it's more of a bittery thing. But the fiber in it is so good for your digestive system. It's good for your calcium. It's good for your bones. So there's a lot of minerals in it that is helpful to the body. It doesn't deal with any specific like ailments right away. But if you have things like digestive issues, you want to lose weight, drinking that juice, you can drink it as a juice too. I actually found a few markets around here not too long ago. I didn't realize they make a juice out of it. They put a little vanilla in it and some cream in it and sugar. But I prefer it not with sugar, but you can get it. But it still would be more helpful than drinking the sodas in the corner stores and the bodega.
What I learned about soda 30 years ago is that it eats the calcium out of your bones. It can cause arthritis, bursitis, gout, soda. You know what I'm saying? And ulcers, that's right. So soda is very dangerous, to drink. I mean, I'm not going to mention any brands out there, but at the same time, soda is something that I cut out 30-something years ago because I knew that what it would do to the body, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have, because I'm in my 60s, so I don't have any arthritis, bursitis, or any of these things because I've been drinking sea moss when I was 17. And I'm in my 60s. So that paid off. It paid off. So it's so important to know what are the nutrients you can take in. Matter of fact, I remember getting some noni directly from Guyana. And I might talk about the noni that's in the Korean markets. That's Black. This
No,
one
not this
was
one.
like a lemony color
Yeah.
type of noni, and it was so powerful
Yes.
that if you had it in the kitchen and you was in another room and you walked into the kitchen, it's like your whole demeanor just
Yes,
changed.
the energy.
The energies just changed. And when you take a teaspoon, because it sheds its own water, you can feel your body just tightening up and shifting and fighting off whatever's there. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
So fruit is a very powerful.
I would like some access to that noni.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I heard about it, but I haven't gotten access to it. Yeah. And it's funny because I have people that are like family that are from Guyana. I'd be like, y'all be having some potent stuff and y'all don't want to.
Yes.
I said, this is a money maker here.
That's
this
true.
is something people need to know
That's
about.
true.
Y'all got
Very
so much
true.
knowledge on different things. Y'all
That's
need
right.
to let people know.
That's
you know,
right.
they're like, oh, we know about this. Use it to your advantage to help you.
Well, you know,
and help people.
Well, I noticed that a lot of our brothers from the Caribbean and in Africa and even South America, it's like when they come here, they forget about their foods. You know, they forget about how their fruits and their vegetables are very powerful. They just eat all kinds of garbage here, get sick, and then they go to the doctor. When they know back home, they know where the doctor is at.
Yeah.
Nature is your doctor.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Not man, but nature. And they know, and the elders knew about these things for thousands and thousands of years, and the knowledge is still there. You know, there's even I can't even call it a vegetable, most likely a fruit probably, is bitter melon.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they call it Coralla or Corrali in Trinidad, but very powerful, extremely bitter. All right. They got seeds in there also that you can chew up that would help the body. All right. But again, if you want to cut out some of the bitterness, cilantro you can throw in there. You can throw some basil in there.
Yeah.
You know, little red onion in there.
There's always ways to fix the food where it's a little bit more palatable.
Yes.
You know, but if you like me, it don't matter how bitter it is. I'm going to eat it. I'm a dog it. I've had some stuff. People's like, how do you eat that? How do you? I said, listen, I know what it's going to do. I don't care how it's going to taste. I don't care. And people be looking at me, oh my God. I'm like, I don't care. I said, because how I'm going to feel later.
It's going to be the key.
That's the whole thing.
You
And
know,
when you feel that.
You're right. Because I have two little girls, and one of them had a real bad cold. So I used to feed her the bitter melon, just a little piece. And that bitter melon would run that cold out of her, and she's good for the day. So the next day she doesn't have a cold because it will run
it out.
It will run it out of you, you know, because the level of potency that's in there.
You know, another trick my grandmother used to do too. If you had a cold, she used to throw salt.
Oh.
Throw salt in your sinus cavity, and you sneeze, and all of a sudden it'll draw out.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you're saying that because technically they call that saline.
It's the same.
It's the saline.
Yes.
You know, that's what it is. So it's interesting that you brought that out.
Same thing in pink eye.
Yes.
One of my cousins was at the table. Oh, I got this pink eye. And we sitting there, everybody sitting around the table just about this size too. My cousin sitting there, my grandmother sitting here, I'm sitting here, and I'm looking, and my grandmother's fingering with the salt. I'm like, what is it? Grandma always tell us not to play with the salt. Why is she playing with the salt? And I'm looking like, why is she playing with the salt? And my cousin happened to look at my grandmother in the eye, talking to her, and she threw the salt right in his eye. He was like, oh, you know, crying. Why you do that?
But I bet you that pink eye went.
2 days later, he called her, Grandma, my eyes, it's gone. That pink eye's gone.
Yeah. Because the pink eye hurting you. So the salt is just killing the pink eye virus.
Yes.
You're so right about that.
Yes.
But you know, I really enjoy the knowledge that you have given, and I'm so glad that you are into the roots and to the herbs, because we don't have too many people around that can really, really educate us, especially when you're in an open platform like this. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, how many channels that you can go to and go into a detail of what herbs to use based upon what conditions that your body's going through. So I think that this was very, very important that, you know, that this can be expressed. But, you know, when you want to give your information on how you could be contacted, you know, and, you know. And
just something else I wanted to bring out.
Yes.
Before I do that.
Yes.
Something one of my teachers had brought to my attention to, you know, his students when he was teaching or in lectures. You know, how is it that if you tell a person that they have a gun, I'm talking to you and I say I have a gun and I'm telling you to walk in front of me, and if to walk in front of me, I might shoot you. If you walk in front of me, I might shoot you. So go ahead and walk in front of me. how many of us will actually walk in front of that gun? And that's kind of how it is with the medicines.
True.
They give you all the side effects, letting you know it might give you liver damage, kidney damage, heart damage. And those issues may not even be your issues.
True.
But yet you go and take it.
True.
So it would just behoove you to just try to take more control of what you take and what you don't take into your body, and be more conscious of aware of that. And again, I will leave you with my name, Happy Coming Through. If you want to reach me, my name is Happy, aka Wando, on Facebook, on Instagram. I will be getting a website out, and my phone number is 347-208-6998, 347-208-6998.
All right, we thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Blessings.
All right, good.